Balladeer going up. And they're off. And it is Regal Patriot who is the quickest out of the gate. Balladeer, Bad Uncle Burial on the inside, a joint third. With Tejon Pass fourth and 3 lengths off the lead. The two trailers, Anmer Hall, Belief in This Living at the back of the field. So Regal Patriot with a very easy lead down the hill. Has it by 2 lengths to Bad Uncle Berry. And Balladeer is just outside of him, now claiming second. Then Anmer Hall, Tejon Pass racing right together. A Belief in This Living is at the back of the field. Continuing down the hill with Regal Patriot, a length to Balladeer. Bad Uncle Barry along the rail. Outside of him, Tejon Pass. Anmer Hall is in between those two. And a gap of 5 back to A Belief in This Living. They're a quarter of a mile from home. Regal Patriot, Balladeer set down after him in second. Bad Uncle Barry looking for room between rivals. And Anmer Hall on the outside. Here comes Bad Uncle Barry now trying to get to Regal Patriot. Regal Patriot digging in, and Anmer Hall on the outside in with a chance too. Anmer Hall and Bad Uncle Barry. Anmer Hall on the outside. Anmer Hall nailed them both. Tight photo for second between Regal Patriot and Bad Uncle Barry. Balladeer finished fourth. Finish. Got some movement out of Metate. And they're off. Clean start. Working Cherokee Nation. Rhodes, Eruption on the outside, up close in the early going. Mr. AP is in the mix too as they move into the first turn. So it will be Working Cherokee Nation head and head for the lead. Rhodes is outside of them, a length and a half back third. And Mr. AP tucked in nicely along the rail. A 3-wide Eruption has 3 lengths to make up, 2 clear of Out of the Woods and Metate. They move on to the backstretch where Work and Cherokee Nation puts his head in front at the 5/8 pole. Rhodes third, Eruption is 4 wide. Mr. AP under a nice hold from Freysu behind this quartet, only 2 lengths off the lead. Another 3 back to Metate and Out of the Woods. They're a half mile left from home. And it is Work and Cherokee Nation trading punches on the front end. Work is now in front of half a length. Cherokee Nation alongside second. 2 more lengths, Mr. AP at the rail. Eruption just outside of him. Rhodes dropping out of it now. Another length and a half to Out of the Woods and Metate. Midway on the far turn, 4 across the track. There's room for Mr. AP. He takes that opportunity and pounces on Cherokee Nation. These two arrive at the top of the stretch together, Mr. AP and Cherokee Nation. Mr. AP has the lead with 1/8 of a mile to go. At the rail, Cherokee Nation refusing to surrender. He's coming right back. It's Mr. AP, Cherokee Nation putting on a show at the 16th pole. Mr. AP on the outside just in front. Cherokee Nation working all the way. Here is the line. Photo finish. Very close. Mr. AP and Cherokee Nation in a serious battle for a long way through the stretch. Eruption a distant third. And they're off, and Sexy is out quickly. Ryan's Girl on the outside is even faster. Vegas Love in between them, and La Scaloneta is in the mix too. Unbridled Scholar is hustled through along the fence now and right off the heels. That was absolutely ridiculous. On the inside comes Be a Goldfish, who is 6 lengths off the lead, and Catalina Cocktail at the back of the field. Around the first turn, it's Ryan's Girl just in front, a half length to La Scaloneta in second. 2 more back to Unbridled Scholar in third, Sexy between horses, and Vegas Love 3 wide, 3 lengths off the lead. Be a Goldfish is next, and Catalina Cocktail is at the back. 6 lengths covers them, 4.5 furlongs to go. And it's Ryan's Girl, the leader by a half length. La Scaloneta's in second. Unbridled Scholar at the rail. Sexy between horses, and Vegas Love past the half-mile pole, still 3 lengths off the lead. Be a Goldfish and Catalina Cocktail. Into the far turn, it's Ryan's Girl, pressed hard now by La Scaloneta as these two have sprinted clear. They're 3 lengths in front of Vegas Love, who's clearly into third. Sexy fourth. Unbridled Scholar dropping right out of it. Passed now by Be a Goldfish and Catalina Cocktail. La Scaloneta takes the lead with a quarter of a mile to go. Puts a length on Ryan's Girl second. These two are well clear of Vegas Love in third. At the rail, Sexy fourth. They're inside the final furlong, and La Scaloneta has opened up 2 lengths now. Ryan's Girl trying her best, but she's just clearly second in front of Sexy moving into third. La Scaloneta, the prompt favorite, reports home 3.5 lengths in front. Ryan's Girl was second, Sexy third, Vegas Love fourth. They're in the gate. And they're off. Senor Tequilas is very quick away from there. So is Still Bulletproof in between horses. And they are joined by Rostron showing good speed. Voucher along the inside is quicker than all. And also in the mix is Kiki Ride, who's 4 deep as they run down the back stretch. Soul Fire is just behind this group. They are followed by Prancelot Kelly, who's making headway along the rail with the white cap. Only 3 lengths off the lead into the far turn. Moccasin Prince is next. Another 2 back to Wasted Warrior. Senor Tequilas, who broke well, is now toward the back of the field in front of Debbie's Getting Hot and Celtic Rhythm at the back of the field. A quarter of a mile to go. Voucher, Rostron head and head for the lead. On the extreme outside, Kiki Ride 4 deep and coming after them now. And just inside of that one is Still Bulletproof. Voucher at the 8th pole is in front by half a length. Continued headway for Prancelot Kelly, who now finds a small seam along the inside. And out in the middle of the track, Debbie's Getting Hot is flying home too. Still Bulletproof in between them. Prancelot Kelly on the outside. Debbie's Getting Hot. Prancelot Kelly. What a ride from Francisco Monroy to get through on the inside and defeat Debbie's Getting Hot. Battle for third was between Still Bulletproof and Kiki Ride. Offered. They'll be at the gate in 22 minutes. Going in. And they're off. It's a quick start for Cypress Moon. From scratches up close in the opening furlong. Pretty Prancelot. Unbinding is racing in fourth. At the rail, Origami fifth, 6 lengths off the lead, 3 clear of Cloudy Women. Double Bay is next, racing on the outside of Skating Through Life. Irish Rose second to last, and Magali more than 15 lengths off the very fast Cypress Moon, who has opened up 5-6 lengths into the far turn. Pretty Prancelot second. At the rail, it's Origami in third, with Unbinding in fourth, 8 lengths off the leader. Another 2 back to Cloudy Women. From scratch has lost some ground. Skating Through Life. Double Bay is next. Passed now by Irish Rose. A long way to Magali, a quarter of a mile from home. Cypress Moon, Origami coming with Purpose in second. Closing ground with each and every stride. In behind her, Unbinding, Cloudy Women along the rail. Out in the center of the course from scratch. Coming to the 16th pole. And now Origami has wrested command. Late run from Cloudy Women, who's coming fast. Origami, Cloudy Women. Origami wins it. Cloudy Women was second. Unbinding third in front of From Scratch. Pitbull on November 24th. You in? In the gate. And they're off. Jules gets the first call out of the gate. Darlin Sugary is up close. Here's Bears Board moving through along the inside to be a part of the pace battle. Miss Q matches strides with her and is now in third. They are followed by Flamingo Star fifth, 4 lengths off the lead. 3 clear of Alluring Valentine outside, Not Happy. Then 10 of Hearts, Fire Isle, and Our Agenda trails. A duel into the far turn. It's Bears Board on the inside and Jules. These two are 3.5 lengths clear of the heavy favorite, Darlin Sugary, who gets a cue to get after them now. Then Miss Q, fourth. Flamingo Star is racing in fifth. 2 clear of Alluring Valentine on the outside of Not Happy. 4 lengths to Fire Isle, a 10 of Hearts, and the trailer Our Agenda. They're a quarter of a mile from home, and Jules is the leader, but here comes Darlin Sugary to challenge. In behind them, Miss Q angling out for a shot, and Flamingo Star is trying her best. Middle of the racetrack, Not Happy. It's Darlin Sugary in control past the 16th pole. No dangers in sight. Darlin Sugary and Juan Hernandez will report home 4 lengths clear. Miss Q outgames Flamingo Star for place. Jules ran fourth. Any budgie going in? And they're off. Watchtower in the center of the course. Violetta M. Wordplay is up close. And on the inside, that's Baltic Fire right on top of a very slow pace. Venganza now moves up to try and quicken the tempo just a touch. Vibes is now racing in fifth, sitting right off the flank of Wordplay, who's in the red colors, fourth on the inside. That group is followed by Watchtower, who broke well. Raw Ability is on the inside, and a 3-wide Mahina has 8 lengths to make up. Another couple back to Granny Budgie, who is followed at the rail by Nadette. Son of Hill is second to last, and the trailer under a bit of a hole, too, is Miss Roberts. Down the back stretch, and the lead belongs to Violetta M., who goes past the half-mile pole, leading the way by a length and a half. Venganza's in second, and Baltic Fire at the rail in third. Vibes a close fourth. Wordplay at the rail. Mahina trying to inch into it, 6 lengths off the lead. Watchtower is just in behind her. Then Granny Budgie, who's on the outside of Raw Ability midway on the far turn. Another 2 back to Son of Hill. The 2 trailers remain Nadette, and Miss Roberts is at the back. They turn for home. Violetta M. Venganza turns up the pressure. Vibes has a clear shot and is starting to finish with some interest. Out in the center of the course, Watchtower. Mahina is next. In between horses, Raw Ability is getting involved, as is Nadette from the clouds. Nadette is flying at Vibes. Vibes is in front, and Vibes wins it. Wordplay was a gallant second. It's a battle for third between Nadette, Raw Ability, and Venganza. Official, and the 8th is up next. Post time for the 8th in 19 minutes. Judy to that outside horse, Quality Gold. And they're off. And the favorite Bazooka Charlie had a very clean break and goes straight to the front. Battling it out with Stern Sentence, who's racing in between horses, and Go Trigger Cut is also in the mix. Just behind them, Mom Says is in fourth, 3 lengths off this trio. Quality Gold is 2 behind them. It's another couple of lengths. On the inside comes Sunk Cost Fallacy, who was just passed by Maxville. A gap of 3 back to Nod's Noodle, and Dapitan Star is far back. They have a quarter of a mile to go, and after an early battle, Bazooka Charlie finds himself in front, a half length to Stern Sentence second, 3 more Go Trigger Cut in third. It's another half dozen back to Mom Says inside Maxville. Quality Gold is just inside of them. They're in the final furlong, and Bazooka Charlie has a 2-length lead. Stern Sentence not giving up, trying hard in second. Go Trigger Cut in third. It will be Bazooka Charlie. Bazooka Charlie and Antonio Fresu by more than 5 lengths. Second went to Stern Sentence. A good finish from Sunk Cost Fallacy to get the showdown in a battle between Quality Gold and Nod's Noodle. They're in the gate. And they're off. Very even beginning. Helga Brandt in the center has speed, but it's Curtsy who's fastest and sprinting away. Curtsy has opened up a 2-length lead. Gray Matter showing some good family early foot, and Heads and Beds is racing in between rivals. They're followed by Donata, who's 5 lengths off the lead. Down at the rail, Lady Chic with My Cherry Pie racing in between horses, and Halston Rose is just outside of her. 2 more back to Surf Song. That's All Right Mama is next, joined and passed by My Perfect Wave in the pink, and that leaves Angelica Bay at the back of the field. They're coming toward the quarter pole, still chasing Curtsy, who has it a length and a half. Gray Matter trying to cut into that margin second. They are followed by Heads and Beds, rallying on the outside of Helga Brandt. In between horses, Lady Chic in the orange looking for a spot, starting to pick up a little bit of ground, and down at the rail, Surf Song. They're in the final furlong. Out in the way outside, My Perfect Wave is absolutely flying. Running out of time, though. Helga Brandt is clear, and Helga Brandt wins it by a length. Second to Surf Song. My Perfect Wave was an eye-catching third. Battle for fourth involved Lady Chic, Heads and Beds, and Gray Matter. 3-1.
It is a Chamber of Commerce weather day here at the Great Race Place. Happy Friday, everybody. Delighted that you decided to join us. And what about those Dodgers? One game away from appearing back in the World Series again this year. But that's a story for another day. The real story of the day is, did you hear about the pick six on Sunday? It kind of got swept under the rug. It paid $29,000. We know that. The $2 pick six always pays well. However, did you know how much the patron paid for the ticket? $32 bought at FanDuel/TVG. So congratulations to that skilled horse player who took home $29,000 on a $32 ticket. I'm not sure if the pick six is going to pay $29,000 today, but we've got the perfect seminar guest. He's the jockey agent for Antonio Fresu. Antonio has mounts in 7 of the 9 races today. The agent's name, Tom Knust. Tom, happy Friday. Welcome to the seminar.
Thanks, Tom. Thanks for having me here.
It's great to have you here. Now, what's your day been like so far? I know you just didn't show up like I did 2 seconds ago.
No, early this morning, we had like 3 workers, and they all worked well. And just try to see some trainers about the book at Del Mar.
Sure.
It's been out for a while.
So. Well, speaking of looking down the road, Breeders' Cup is just 13 days away, believe it or not. 14 days, I should say. Day 1 of Breeders' Cup of the Breeders' Cup World Championship event will be on Friday, Halloween, October 31st, as I mentioned, 2 weeks from today. And Tom, you've got a number of mounts on the Breeders' Cup card for both of those days. Perhaps your most famous one is Motorius, the very talented turf sprinter who finished second in last year's Breeders' Cup turf sprint right at Del Mar. Let's rewind the history book, so to speak, and take a look at Motorius' effort in the Breeders' Cup sprint last year. He breaks from post position number 2, but will actually be the horse on the rail.
They're off in the turf sprint. AG Bullet goes out to the early lead with Cockburn now moving through between horses. Easy Vungu is there on the outside. Bradsell is Centaur, and then comes Star of Mystery, Big Abs and Arzak. Big Invasion, Howard Wallowitz, and Motorius on the inside are next. And Starlust is the trailer. It is Cockburn on top. The leader by a half a length, and now spurting away. There goes Cockburn to open up by 2, by 3 lengths on the far turn. And Izzy Vungu is moved up into second. Bradsell is third. Then Big Abs on the outside, followed by AG Bullet. Irad Ortiz and Cockburn have a 4-length lead at the top of the stretch here in the turf sprint. They come bounding by the 8-pole clear. Izzy Vungu tries to gain ground. Then AG Bullet. Starlust is rallying up the rail, and they're getting to Cockburn now. Here comes AG Bullet. Here comes Starlust. Starlust comes from the...
Tom, we saw Motorius finish a good second in last year's Breeders' Cup turf sprint. However, you drew down the inside, and being a deep closer, you probably didn't like that post position. No doubt Motorius has a nose for the wire because he outfinished AG Bullet. He couldn't outfinish the winner, but in my opinion, he didn't see that horse coming.
Yeah, I think the 1 hole or the 2 holes, you can say inside, cost us because you've noticed he had no place to go, then he had to come out, and that probably cost us a half a length. So I think with a better draw this year, and he's, I think, a better horse right now. I mean, he down at Del Mar, he got left at the break because he got cut off, and then he still finished second and got moved up. And then he's just a really good horse, really consistent. He's training really well. I think we're going to work him either Sunday or Monday morning on the training track, and he's just a great horse, tries hard every time.
Now, he's not your only Breeders' Cup mount. You're also riding a horse, a 2-year-old for Vladimir Serin, Mr. AP, who wound up winning a nose photo finish last Sunday, beating a Bob Baffert runner.
Yeah, and Mr. Wilson claimed the horse for $150,000. He was out here that day, and he hasn't been coming to the races too often, but he used to be in the racing really big time. And he got really anxious when he saw the win and talked to Vladimir and says, listen, we're going to go to the Breeders' Cup. So we gave him the call, and we'll see what happens.
Holly and Dave Wilson, longtime supporters of not only Southern California racing, but also racing all around the country. Good to see them get more actively involved in the game. Another runner you're representing on Breeders' Cup weekend, Tom, is a runner from back east, trained by Chad Summers. Tell us about that turf runner.
Yeah, it's dirt. And it's dry powder. We ran second in the cotillion back there,
the grade 1 at Parks,
and ran a really good race. And so they're going to come back and they're going to try the Breeders' Cup distaff. And we're really excited about it. She ran really good. Antonio came back and said she's really a nice filly. So
last time you were on the seminar, Tom, you told us that Antonio's wife is a newscaster in Norway. Is that still the case? Does she still live in Norway? And
she's still stuck there. She's still trying to get her green card. She applied for it last September at Del Mar, during Del Mar, and They say now they're just starting to work on the 2024 people that applied, which
Sure.
is her. And then they go from month to month. So she still has a little bit of time to go.
Talk about a long distance relationship.
Yeah. He goes over once in a while, and she's going to come for the Breeders' Cup, so they get to see her then.
And I think I've seen Antonio's mom in the Del Mar paddock as well. Is she a big supporter of his, and does she come to the races occasionally?
Just during Del Mar. I don't know why Del Mar, but yeah, just Del Mar she comes to.
You mean she doesn't go to Los Alamitos?
Nah,
No.
she misses that a little bit, yeah.
You've got 7 mounts on today's card. For a number of your longtime clients, trainers like Steve Knapp come to mind, and Doug O'Neill, of course. Being an agent is really all about relationships, isn't it, Tom?
Yeah, I think I've been doing now for about 24 years, and I just think you ride for stables, you ride for relationships, and you don't worry about the horses, because you're riding for the right people. They're going to win races.
And Phil D'Amato, of course, is a big supporter
Phil
of yours.
D'Amato, Mark Glatt, yeah, they both are real big supporters.
We're big supporters of Tom Knust. That's because, as you've heard, he's been around the block once or twice. Before being a jockey agent, he also was a racing official for both at Santa Anita, Fairplex Park, and Del Mar. He's got a lot of experience. We're going to find out who Tom likes on today's 9-race card. But before we do any of that, let's toss the microphone over to track announcer Frank Miramati and get the early changes on today's card here at the Great Race Place.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Santa Anita Park, the Great Race Place. The track is fast, the turf course is firm, and the rail on the turf today is out 30 feet. Here are the early changes. There are no changes in the first race. It's the start of the early pick 5. The second race, early pick 4 wagering is offered, and there are no changes. The all-turf pick 3 begins with race 2. It's on races 4, 6, and 8. In the third, no changes. Turning to race number 4. Scratch number 6, Prince Dolce, and scratch number 7, Roberando. 6 and 7 are out of race number 4. Keep in mind the late pick 4 will start with the 6th race. 4th race is the start of the $2 pick 6. Turning to the 5th race. No show wagering with the scratches of 4 Jesse Bear and scratch number 5, Severe Clear. In race 6. 6th race starts the late pick 4. Hind Shoes On number 3 and scratch number 9, Expressive Love. The late double will begin with the 8th race. Turning to race number 7. In the 7th race, number 11, Easy Reward, is 2 pounds over. The late pick 3 starts with race 7. 8th race is the start of the $5 late double. Late double starts with race number 8, and there are no changes. And the 9th has super high 5 wagering, scratch number 9, Heavenly Princess. Those are the changes on today's program. Enjoy your day at Santa Anita Park. It's Free Friday. Let's go back to Quigley's Corner. His special guest today is Tom Knust.
Welcome back. We're talking horses with Tom Knust. He's the jockey agent for Antonio Fresu. Antonio has mounts on 7 of the 9 races today, so we're going to get Tom's opinion on all 7 of those mounts, as well as maybe some main contenders in each of the 9 races. So, Tom, let's take a look at race number 1. As you can see on the graphic, fast and firm, of course, conditions here at Sandy. The first race is on the turf course, sprinting 6 furlongs. The turf rails today are at 0 feet, at 30 feet, I should say. This race is a starter allowance race for fillies and mares, and of course, it begins the popular 50-cent early pick 5. We've got a field of 6. The morning line favorite was number 2, Oveda's Hobby, but the current betting choice at 3-2 is number 5, Prime and Ready from the Richie Baltus barn. You ride number 3, How Lovely, for one of your main men, Doug O'Neill. How'd you see race 1, Tom?
Well, I like 2 horses here. I like the 2 and the 3. I think the 2 has speed, and it's kind of one of those horses. I can't tell if turf or dirt's better for the horse, but he's got enough speed to be in good shape. And then I like how we went ahead and How Lovely broke its maiden, then came back in an allowance race, and it was too tough for the horse. And I think this is the right spot. And if he can run back to how he broke his maiden, I think she'll be awful tough.
Mr. Hartman of Hartman Stables is one of the owners of How Lovely. He's very active on Twitter. What's Mr. Hartman like in the O'Neill suite?
He's good. He's really good.
Is he subdued, or is he one of those wild guys?
No, he's a decent. He brings his wife, and he's got like 23 kids or something.
Is he Mormon?
He has a lot of kids. I think he's got like 5 or 4 or something like that. But they're all well behaved, and yeah, he's a really good guy.
How many children you have, Tom?
I have 2. I have a boy and a girl, and then I have 4 grandkids.
Congratulations. Any great-grandchildren on the way yet?
Not yet. Hopefully not for a while.
Let me ask you a question about number 2, Oveda's Hobby. It's a fairly simple one. As you look through the past performances, you can see that her current jockey today, Juan Hernandez, has ridden her twice. She does have 1 victory with him in the saddle, and then a really good second as well. Is it your experience over the years that certain jockeys just fit certain horses?
I think definitely. The only thing throwback on this horse is he won both times on the dirt with JJ. But I think you get guys like Juan Hernandez, and they pretty much fit any horses and stuff. But yeah, sometimes in some cases it's horses, jockeys fit better. But for most, when you got the top riders, they can ride anything.
You jealous of jockey agent Craig O'Brien with the success he's had with Juan Hernandez?
Is he still around? I thought
he never shows up, does he?
I thought he retired years ago. And actually, I got him Juan Hernandez. He was retired. Do
you get retainers?
Not yet. I haven't gotten 1 penny from him yet. No, but Craig does a really good job. Juan's a great rider, so they're a good combination.
They sure are. They're always leading or near the lead of the jockey standings in Southern California. Race number 2 begins the popular 50-cent early pick 4. We're sprinting 6 furlongs this time on the main track. $25,000 claimers, non-winners of 3 races lifetime. Number 5, Prince Prancelot is a first-time gelding. Number 3, Jaguar John in sharp form for trainer Steve Miotti is the 8-5 morning line favorite. Tom, you read a runner in here, number 2, Recall and Reload for Tim Yakteen. Hasn't been seen since January of 2023. January of 2023. A 6-year-old horse who just has 3 lifetime starts. We need some inside information on number 2, Recall and Reload.
Well, Tim Yakteen, he used to work for Bob Baffert. He's a really good trainer and really good horseman, and he gets horses fit. So I have no problem that this horse is going to be fit and ready to run. And he's got class. I think his class stands out for non-winners of 3 for 25. You've got Miotti's horse, who's got good form, but I don't think he has got the class of the 2. And my other horse that I like besides the 2 is the 4-horse Bluegrass Go-Go. Blaine Wright does a really good job. He's got Kyle Frey, who I think is an excellent rider. And I think that horse will run very tough in this race. And he's run tough in 20 open weight races, 25 open races and stuff. So I think he'll be very tough with this condition race.
Tom, has Antonio worked Recall and Reload at all in the morning, or is Antonio very active in the morning with, you said 3 this morning, but is that a typical morning for Antonio?
Well, on Fridays, and there's about 3. The weekends are a lot more. People want to work on the weekends. So tomorrow, I think we work 5 or 6 horses. Next day, we work like 6 horses. And then Monday, we probably work 4 or 5. So Saturday, Sunday, and Monday is frequent. He works horses. But I know we have not worked this horse. Tim usually has his own riders work the horses stuff, but I have the utmost confidence in him, and when he puts this on a horse, I know it's live.
You should, because looking at the daily racing form statistics, you guys over the last 2 years are winning at a 20% win clip with a large sample size. Race number 3, again for fillies and mares, again sprinting 6 furlongs in the main track, allowance optional claiming types, non-winners of 1 other than, a field of 5. You do not ride this race, but number 5, Artisma from the Richie Baltus barn, is 8-5 on the morning line. You talked about class in race number 2. Artisma ran in the grade 1 test at Saratoga exclusively for 3-year-old fillies. Is she the filly to beat in race 3?
Well, I would say she's going to be very tough, yes. But I went opposite. I went the 1 and 3. I think Young Love with Juan Hernandez has a really big shot. His horse has been running consistent, has speed. I think that one will be the one to catch. I think the 5 will stay off of him. And then the 1 horse, John Sadler, is very tough. Hector Barrios is a great rider. He's got speed. He's going to go. So I just think the speed's going to hold, and the 1 or 3 is going to hold on.
Tom, you mentioned Hector Barrios is a great rider. What makes you say that? What does he do on the racetrack that catches your attention?
I think he's a very smart rider. I mean, he puts the horse in the right spots, and I think that's his biggest asset. So if you're in the right spot, you have a good shot of winning a lot of races, and he does.
Race number 4 begins the $2 pick 6. It also begins the $3 all turf pick 3. That's right. All turf pick 3 today is on races 4, 6, and 8. We kick off both wagers in race 4, sprinting 6.5 furlongs on the flat turf course, $25,000 claimers, non-winners of 2 races lifetime, 2 scratches in the race. Program scratch of the 6, also take out number 7. That leaves us with a field of 7. The morning line favorite, who's 1 for 25 lifetime, is number 3, Dancing Rinka at 5-2 on the morning line. You ride number 2, Dakota Country, for owner and trainer Doug O'Neill. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Tom, I wanted to show the replay of Dakota Country's last effort. It was 2 turns going a flat mile at Del Mar, breaking from post position number 12. So once again, tough draw for you guys. You did not ride Dakota Country in this replay we're about to watch, but Dakota Country actually earned the best last race by her speed figure going 2 turns. Let's listen to Larry Colmus describe the action and watch the runner breaking and wearing saddlecloth number 13, who's going to be Dakota Country.
They're off. Good even beginning. It's Hucker who comes out well with Unbreakable Trust away with speed and Smart Code away third to their outside. Then Sketchy and Mr. Leisure down toward the rail. Russell's Hustle is next. Then the Old 9. Break of another 2.5 lengths more, and they're followed by Grow Goo, who races down on the inside. Dealer Special and One of These Days are next, and then a break of another 2 back to Smooth Salute. The early trailer is Dakota Country. So on to the backstretch. Hawker is the leader, 23:01 that opening quarter mile. Smart Code 3/4 of a length behind, running along in second. Mr. Leisure is third down toward the inside. Then Unbreakable Trust in fourth, halfway up the backstretch. Break of 2 back to Russell's Hustle, who races to the inside of Sketchy. It's a separation of 2.5 to the Old 9 and Grow Goo. And then Dealer's Special in One of These Days, who's got 10 lengths to make up, and 4 clear of Smooth Salute and Dakota Country. 47.11 was the half mile. Hawker heads for the far turn with Smart Code. Now just a head back on the outside. The 2 of them are right together. Smart Code pokes ahead in front. Hawker on the inside, battles on second by 2.5. And then Mr. Leisure in third. Russell's Hustle follows in fourth as they come to the top of the stretch. And as they turn for home here, and on the outside, here comes to take the lead with 1 furlong to go. And it is Russell's Hustle who's storming up on the outside by Smart Code. Russell's Hustle takes charge and goes on to win.
Tom, just because I'm a handicapping nerd, I'm going to share with you some information that I don't even think you know. I love DRF Formulator because it can pull up a variety of different scenarios to see what's happened in the past, to see if you can predict the future. So I'm going to tell you that Antonio's ridden for Doug O'Neill over the last year 5 times since January 1st, 2025, on turf with horses going route to sprint. He's won with 2 of them. One of them is How Lovely. You can take a look in the past performances for yourself. Take a look at How Lovely's PPs. went from a route to a sprint on turf when Antonio in the saddle hit the winner's circle. The other one was a runner you'll remember, Tom, by the name of Lee's Baby Girl. Very impressive going route to sprint as well. So for whatever reason, he doesn't use Antonio a lot going route to sprint on the turf, but when he does, he seems to be live. Do you think Dakota Country's live in race 4?
Well, I like him because I think his numbers are standout against these horses. But the problem is that when he was in, there's a mile extra that we were trying to get in, and the race didn't go. So he switched over to the short race. I think he preferred the mile versus the short, but I think he can still win the short race. But again, I like the 2. I like him first, and then I like Magic Connection. I just don't know how the horse is going to run on the turf, but we won with it with Hector Palma, and then he ran in a tougher race. Now he's coming back in this race, makes it, he fits, but I just don't know how he's going to handle the turf.
Fair enough. 2 and 1 in race number 4 for our seminar guest, Tom Knust, the agent for Antonio Fresu. Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. A special shout out to Vista Paint. This is their annual day at the races. If you're in attendance here, you'll notice how crowded the parking lot is today. Very unusual for San Ida on weekdays, and certainly that's the case today. Over 2,000 people representing Vista Paint, their company, their vendors, everybody supporting Vista Paint. Hope you have a great day in your annual visit at the races. Race number 5 begins the 50-cent late pick 5. We're going 1 mile on the main track. This race is for Calbred, fillies and mares, non-winners of one other than. 2 scratches, scratch the 4 and the 5. You ride the morning line favorite in here. First off the claim for trainer Steve Knapp, number 2. Run a Mile in My Shoes. Run a Mile in My Shoes just ran basically 2 weeks ago. And Steve Knapp, the trainer, does something very interesting here, Tom. He puts her back in for the $20,000 claiming tag, which I thought was a little bit disappointing simply because there were 8 claims in for her. But what I do like is he puts her on the main track, and she's 1 for 1 on the main track. It could be a free bingo square here. Do you like her? Do you like her as much as many of the handicappers do?
Yeah, I mean, she won this condition already, so she's coming back in it a while back. Steve Knapp's a good horseman. He's aggressive. He wants to win races.
It's a good purse.
Yeah, so he'll run back there, and if he loses the horse, he'll get another one. I like him, and I like his other horse, the 1 horse, too. The 1 horse is really good on the numbers, and I think he'll be very strong. So I think it'll be a Steve Knapp, exact in this race.
It's interesting. Nothing is forever. You can see if you're looking at the past performances. 8 start on a fast main track, 2 wins, 3 seconds and 1/3, 6 for 8 in the money. And as mentioned previously, Run a Mile in My Shoes, also 1 for 1 on a fast dirt surface. Before we take a look at race number 6, Tom, a question for you. A couple of times now in both races, races 4 and 5, you said has good numbers. We know that there's numbers in the daily racing form. Do you also use numbers like Thorograph or Ragozin?
Yeah. I use a lot of the Thorograph numbers, but I think Thorograph or Ragozin are both good numbers to go by. And I think they're just a tool to use. I mean, I don't go strictly by them, but if I like something and then the numbers, reinforce it, then it gives me more confidence.
Who taught you how to read the sheets or the numbers? Was it Bobby Frankel or somebody else? I mean, it's a bunch of hieroglyphics when you first look at it.
Yeah. I don't know. I just kind of picked it up from different people along the ride. I like Hardoon a lot.
John Hardoon.
Yeah. So,
but Bobby Frankel was a big sheets user
he
as well.
was. Bobby,
kind of one of the pioneers, right?
Yeah. If he ran a horse and ran too big of a number, he wouldn't run it back for 3 months.
He was worried about the bounce.
Oh, yeah. He ran a horse one time in New York that ran like a -2. He didn't run the horse for 6 months after it. He's a big numbers guy. Yeah.
Were you an agent at all when Bobby was training, or were you more a racing official?
No, I actually was a jockey agent, and I worked for Bobby for 12 years as his stable agent. So I did all his nominations, all his entries through the whole country. And
was either Ruben and or Dan Ward part of that team back then with Bobby Frankel?
No. What's his name was his assistant? Umberto was his assistant at that time. Yeah. So
that was a pretty dynamic team, right?
Oh yeah, they did a great job. They won a lot of races.
They sure did. Great to go down memory lane with you.
Yeah.
Race number 6 begins the 50-cent late pick 4. We're sprinting 6 furlongs in the flat turf course for maiden claiming fillies and mares in for a $50,000 tag. Take out the also eligible number 9, Expressive Love, will not compete. We've got a field of 8. You ride the first time starter, number 1, Cindy's Beach House for trainer Bill McLean. Also number 2, Frog, who has plenty of early speed, is the 9-5 morning line favorite for trainer Michael McCarthy. How'd you see race 6, Tom?
Yeah, I don't know much about my horse. I've not worked it, but I like Bill McLean. He says the horse doesn't do anything stupid, so I don't have any problem riding it. I like probably the two the best. Michael McCarthy's with Juan Hernandez. And then I actually like Mark Glatt's horse, who Mark does a really good job with the horses. So I think both of them could be competitive in this race.
Tom, we all know Mark Glatt does so well off long layoffs, which is the category that number 4, Molly Jensen, your second pick, fits in this particular race, race number 6. Why do you think Mark, compared to other barns, is so effective off the long layoff?
Well, I think he does what Bobby Frankel did. I think was a big trait of Bobby Frankel's. I think his strongest one, and I think Mark's this way. He knows when to back off on horses. And I think that's really, really important in racing. So if he sees the horse is not working right, he wants it to, he won't enter him. He'll just back off on him. Frankel used to do that too. So I think that's a big, strong trait on him.
So effectively, effectively, when Mark enters a runner, you know that it's 100% ready to fire.
Exactly.
Fair enough. Good to know. Let's take a look at race number 7. Time begins the popular $3 late pick 3. What a grab bag this is. We've got a full field of 14, sprinting 6 furlongs on the main track. Maiden claiming Calbred, 2-year-old fillies, in for a $20,000 tag. The lukewarm morning line favorite at 9-2 is number 8, Southern Anton. You do not ride this race, but for most handicappers, this gave us a massive migraine. Who do you like in race 7 and why?
Yeah, I'd say definitely this is a tough race, and I like the Alfredo Marquez horse.
Number 9, Clam Beach.
Yeah, and he ran a good race before. His numbers are good. Alfredo does a really good job. Again, you have Hector Barrios on the horse. So I like him. And then again, I like Tim Yaktin's horse, which I think would go ahead and he fits this spot. And like you said, it's a grab bag. I wouldn't put too much on any of these horses, but Tim's horse could go wire to wire. And again, I think Alfredo's will run really well.
Fair enough. Let's see. In race number 7, 9 and 12 are Tom's top selections in the race. I see that number 4, Donald's Homily, is trained by Gary Studi. Of course, whenever you see Gary Studi's name, you think of Mel Studi and B. Wayne Hughes and Barry Abrams and all those guys who used to hang out at Clocker's Corner.
Yeah,
that was they were like the Three Stooges.
Yeah, they used to thing, and then they all go to breakfast together. And yeah, there was quite a lot of interesting stories, that's for sure.
One story I heard, Tom, I don't know if you heard the story, but we've got a few minutes to share with it, is B. Wayne Hughes told both Mel Studi and his brother Warren that he was thinking of a new business venture.
No, it was actually just Warren.
Okay, go ahead. You tell the story.
He offered Warren 5% of the company for $5,000,
which turned out to be Public Storage.
Public Storage, and Warren didn't have to do anything. And Warren told him that everybody has.
B. Wayne had the money, right? That wasn't an issue. B. Wayne had plenty of money.
But he said everybody has garages. Warren did.
Correct.
So he said there's no way that anybody's going to use your public storage things. And until the time he died, even when it was really successful, he still thought everybody had garages and they didn't need any public storage.
Kind of like the internet is just a fad, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And that $5,000 now would have been worth about $500 million. So
Gary's not sour about that being a nephew, is he?
Oh, no.
Why would he be?
Yeah, Gary's got plenty of money.
Race number 8 begins the $5 late daily double. Always pays well because higher minimum, lower takeout. In this first leg of the $5 late daily double race 8, we're going 1 mile on the turf course for $40,000 claimers. A field of 7. Number 2, Malibu Coast is who you ride at a big juicy 10-1 on the morning line. Number 1, Beef Winslow, second off the claim for trainer Bob Hess, is the 9-5 morning line favorite. Before we get your thoughts on the race, Tom, I want to show a workout from Malibu Coast. This was a team workout back on October 5th. Now, these 2 workers that we're watching right now are not Malibu Coast. These are 2 other workers from the Michael McCarthy barn. There's Malibu Coast on the outside. You can see down on the bottom. They're going to go different distances, but Malibu Coast, the exercise rider, is in the red cap here. And as we watch the beginning of that workout, you could see the 2 Michael McCarthy runners had all the momentum, all the positive forward momentum going, but Malibu Coast says, hang on 1 minute, I might be caught wide.
It's Antonio Frisou.
Okay, Antonio Frisou, not just an exercise rider, but the jockey. Now he's got to go even wider because there's 2 more workmates that they're picking up here in the workout. So effectively, Malibu Coast is 5 wide. Now he's going to terminate his workout, and the Michael McCarthy runners are going to keep going. But I thought Malibu Coast showed a little bit of spark there, Tom, a little bit of competitive fire. You can even see now he is definitely trying very, very hard. What makes that important is we haven't seen him in the afternoon for over 1 year. Last time we saw him was on October 12th, 2024. You said that that's Antonio in the saddle. Now, he has 3 wins, the horse Malibu Coast, at this distance. All 3 career wins are at this distance. So he's going to have to be fit. He takes a drop down in class. What say you about Malibu Coast and race 8?
I think it'll be very tough. I mean, here's a horse that I know is fit. He's dropping in class, which I think helps a lot. And if you notice that work, Antonio didn't really push on him at all.
Correct.
And he's a turf horse, so working on the dirt's not going to be as good if he was working on the grass. So I think he'll be very tough. I like him, and I like the 4-horse Mark Renford's horse. He doesn't have a lot of horses, but when he runs horses, they're pretty live. And again, you got Juan Hernandez, and his numbers are really good. So I think it's going to be the 2 and 4.
Let's talk about Mark Renford for a minute, Tom, because he doesn't get enough exposure, and he's actually had a very good meet, including Kaisan's victory 2 back at Del Mar when Ruben Silvera rode him very well coming up the rail. I had heard that Mark was an assistant trainer for quite some time for another more prolific trainer. Do you happen to know who that is? My memory's...
Yeah, he's a Turf Paradise trainer, and it's Manny.
Yeah, I think there was someone, though, before that, as a matter of fact, in his resume. I just heard it the other day.
Yeah, it could have been.
And I really like the work that Mark does because, let's face it, he doesn't have a bunch of Cadillacs in the barn, but yet he's being competitive, including in this race as well. So,
yeah, no, I think Mark does a really good job. I know for the last 3 or 4 years, he was training assistant to that Manny, who is in Phoenix, but I don't remember who was before that.
Yeah, we'll have to do some research and basically refresh our memories, that's for sure. All right, Tom, we close out the day in race number 9, offering $1 super high 5 wagering. We're spreading 6.5 furlongs on the main track for maiden optional claiming, I should say, 2-year-old fillies. Take out the 9, Heavenly Prince will not compete. Still leaves us with a field of 9. Number 3, Debbie's Gal, the second-time starter for trainer Richie Baltas, is the 5-2 morning line favorite. You do ride a first-time starter in this field for trainer Peter Urton. Peter Urton, another big supporter of your jockey Antonio Fresu. You guys win at a 25% win clip. Not a lot to go on here with a first-time starter, but let's watch a gate drill, a team gate drill for Cosmic Heat back on October 6th, right here at Santa Anita. That's Cosmic Heat down on the inside. Now, she broke kind of sluggishly, but so did her workmate as well. You can see they both get into the bridle pretty quickly and resume their work. It's not the flashiest work in the world because you can see the times is 49 and 2, but it looks like my takeaway from this workout, Tom, and correct me if I'm wrong if you have any inside information, is she wants more ground, and that's why I think Peter is starting her out at 6.5 furlongs. It's basically a good distance to start her out with, particularly if she wants more distance. You're down inside, but there's mitigating factors. You're 5-1 on the morning line, so you do get some respect from the morning line odds maker. What can you tell us? What can you tell us about Cosmic Heat?
Well, he wasn't on it this work, but he has worked this filly before, and he liked her, Antonio. And this is one of those restricted maiden races,
correct.
So you're not running against the Bob Bafferts of the world, so that helps a lot. So, and I like another first-time starter, the 7, Ryan Hansen. Adrian Escobedo, he works a lot of horses for him, rides for him a lot. He's a good speed rider. The horse has a lot of fast gate works. So I would think the 7 would be the one to beat. And then I like me second.
Tom, before I let you go, of course, being a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, the 3 race days here at St. Anita, we've got a couple of more wagers to basically introduce and talk about briefly. That would be the 2 wagers that combine races, both from Gulfstream Park and St. Anita. The first one is the Coast to Coast Pick 5. It's $1 minimum, low 15% takeout, always pays well. And then, of course, the new $1 Sunset Pick 6, combining the last 3 races from Gulfstream Park and the last 3 races at Santa Anita. Tom, want to wish you nothing but success on all 7 of your mounts today. Also, of course, all your Breeders' Cup mounts as well. Thanks so much for joining me. Appreciate the insight, and we'll do it again real soon.
Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Tom, very much.
Okay.
Thanks to all of you for watching as well. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll do it all again tomorrow, 11:50 a.m. Pacific time. Next voice you hear, track announcer Frank Miramati, updating us with any changes. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem. Good afternoon and welcome to Free Friday at Santa Anita Park, the great race place. Track is fast, the turf is firm. Rail on the turf out 30 feet. Here are the changes. No changes in the first start of the early pick 5. The early pick 4 starts with race 2. No changes. In the third race, no changes. The Fort starts to $2 pick 6, scratch 6 Prince Dolce, scratch number 7 Roberando. And note that the all-turf pick 3 also